good with YouTube. Y'all know Vick rocking from a convict perspective, man. And as always, smashing, dashing, sliding on through. We got a little bit of energy. Man, before we get to started, man, this is going to be a good one, man. But I need you guys to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, do all those things to help support your boy. Now, as you can tell by the topic, man, we're going to be talking about Nortenos in prison. Can they walk a religious path? Okay? But before we go into this, man, let's discuss a couple things real quick, man. Okay? Me being in here, right, like I said, I was making a lot of unhealthy choices the last 18 months. I wasn't living the right life. I was struggling with addiction, right? So right now, I'm really early in my recovery, man, but everything right now, I'm on a positive trend, right? I want to keep that going in every video that I do. I'm not really worried about what the other content creators are doing. I'm here to push positive and have a message because that's what I'm trying to do in my life. People forget, before I started doing YouTube, I had close to 6 years clean and sober. I was going to church every week. I was a PTA dad. I had full custody of my son. I was living a righteous life, okay? And that was all due to me working the 12 steps, having a higher power, and finding a spiritual solution with that higher power. Now, regardless if you're religious or not, whatever works for you, every day, I don't care if you're Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Buddhist, if you're an agnostic or an atheist. If it works for you and it keeps you clean and sober and it keeps you on the right path, continue to do it. Okay? Now, if you start to find yourself fall off, impediments or stumbling blocks in your path and you're not making the right choices and you catch yourself, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody for help, man. Like I said before, what happened in my life, when I moved, I quit going to meetings, I quit sponsoring individuals, I didn't have a sponsor, and I quit working the steps, and I no longer had a connection with my higher power, right? So whatever works for you, continue it, because there's a saying, right? This is for a lot of people who are agnostics or whatever you may be. The need for a higher power is more important than the proof of its existence. So we all have to have something to believe in. So we're going to talk about Norteno or Sureno, right? In prison, because Rasta politics are a little bit different than whites, blacks, or anybody else's. They're really, really strict. Whether you're in California, Arizona, Texas, it doesn't matter. Oregon, Washington, Nevada. Rasta prison politics are very strict. Now, at one time in the 90s, when you were in prison, there used to be Cristianos on the yard, okay? But back then, okay, coming from a Norteno's perspective in the 90s, you didn't have as much obligations for us. At that time, we didn't even use the term Northerner. We used the term Norteno, or you were a hermano and a bro. If you were a bro, you were obligated. If you ran up now, you were probably up in the bank. You weren't going to be on the main line. And as a Northerner, your only expectations were the basic HHPs, right? Which was basically to get off when it was time to get off. Okay? You didn't have to follow all these strict rules that follow. Back then you could use dope, you could do all kinds of different stuff. Therefore, the Cristianos that were on the yard back then, right, or whatever they may be, we even had a Muslim homeboy at one time, okay? They were able to do their religious practices, but when it was time to get off. Now, here we are in 2024. Things are a little bit different, okay? As a Northerner in prison, you have certain rules and responsibilities. There's a participation by mandate that's been implemented since, I'd say 2001, 2002 is when there was more obligations being a Northerner. So today it's kind of hard to sit there and, you can't serve two masters, okay? And that's the unfortunate thing. You can't sit there and go to a mainline and expect to walk a Christian path, walk a Muslim path, whatever it may be. Even if you are more spiritual and you're into stuff like Sufism, it's going to be hard to sit there and be embraced and accepted. And even though the Fernandes and the big homies knew this, at one time in Santa Rita, when Corny and Pinky and all them were there, they sent out filters throughout the county jail in Santa Rita. and they're supposed to go to other county jails and other places, right? That they were giving people opportunities that they could go the Christian faith at that time, right, without any repercussions. Okay? But the thing was is, once you decided to do that, there was no coming back unless you had to put in some work. Because see, what was happening was, home county jails for a long time, where you go to Santa Cruz County, you go to Monterey County, it's easy being a homeboy. You ain't got oppositions. You're not getting sent down south to a prison to where, you know what I'm saying, there's 300 oppositions and only 10 homeboys. Because see, back in the days, there's a lot of people that, when shit got hard, people hid behind the bike. You know, and that's one thing that was frowned upon because you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. And so when Coney and Pinky sent it out there, what it basically was saying, right, was pick who your master's going to be. If you're going to be a soldado as a northerner, you're going to have to do this full force. You're going to have to sit there and be basically on a day-to-day basis, this is who you have to be. Pick or choose. So since the 2000s, things have changed where you just can't go in there and say, you know what, I want to be a Cristiano. Okay? Especially if you go into a prison like where it's fucking dead out of war. There's a lot of people, they got up to the shoe, they decided to pick up a Bible, you know, they couldn't, you know. And see, I'm a firm believer. If you do it for all the right reasons, right? Religion. Not because you're scared, not because of any of that, and you're willing to stand behind that faith no matter where you're at, then more power to you, because you know what? That's making the right choices. That's the choices you're making for yourself. But there's a lot of individuals that do it for all the wrong reasons. Then, when they're in a place where everything is easy, back in the county jail or back in a prison where the homeboys have it, all of a sudden they want. So the truth of it is if you're going to walk that path behind the wall, you can't sit there and really be a full-functioning soldado. You can't really be a full-functioning Norteno and yet be religious. It's not going to work. You can't search your masters. The Bible says it yourself. So would you rather sit there, right, and allow yourself to give, you know what I'm saying, power over another individual who really doesn't give a fuck about you? You know what I'm saying? You're just a meal ticket. You know what I'm saying? You're expendable. And any second, they can just have you hit and you're gone. Or would you rather give yourself to some type of higher power? Something that's going to give you the right way of living, you know? It's kind of funny because the NF have a constitution, as everybody knows. And if you didn't know, they call the Constitution the Biblia, the Bible. Therefore, that Constitution comes before your family. It comes before God. So therefore, your obligations is to this organization, this criminal enterprise, right? So for those that are sitting there teeter-tottering about their life, right? A lot of people do this. They don't know. They want to be active homeboys. They want to go do this. At the same time, they want to embrace religion, okay? Make the decision that's going to help you be a better man, right? If you're more worried about your ego and about what people think of you, then of course, go ahead. You know where you want to go. Stay on that path to where fucking you're going to be used, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you gain some sense, maybe you gain some rank, or maybe you put in 20 years and never even reach the status of a fucking soldado. Trust me, there's those that have fucking done that. Or you can change your ways. You can sit there and find a whole different way of living. So, you know, I mean, this goes on the streets as well. You know, that's the one thing I can sit there and, you know, speak about myself today, right? I'm trying to find myself, my connection with my higher power again. Because I believe this. I used to always tell this to individuals like your sponsors in the recovery. And see, I got all those tools that kept me sober and clean, right? But I'm sharpening those tools again so I can get back out there to applying. So right now, I'm very grateful for where I'm at today. I'm grateful that I'm in jail. Because if I would have continued to be out there, getting sober, getting clean, and doing the things that I was doing, eventually I really believe I wouldn't be alive today. It wasn't a matter if I was going to die soon, it was just when. Okay, and how. So today I'm grateful for where I'm at to where I'm working on myself every day. I'm focused on my recovery. And I'm working on my relationship with my higher power. But the truth of it is, like I said before, as a Norteno, you cannot sit there and truly embrace religion and really be accepted on the main line. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to really walk that path, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Pinky and Corny and all them, they know this. And they know there's a lot of individuals that can find religion when they get to jail, okay? Therefore, there is that option. But it's not something to play with. If that's what you really believe in, do it for all the right reasons. You know, some say, oh, okay, this dude that hide behind the Bible, they become Bible suffers when they get to jail. And I get all that, right? You know, but there is those that do find something that they're looking that they've been seeking. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's being a Buddhist, being a Muslim, being a Christian, Catholic, whatever, Jewish, I don't care what it is. If it's going to help you be a better person and be a better man, a better father, then embrace it. Because right now, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get back on my spiritual path. And like I said, I didn't come to jail before and find my relationship with God. My relationship that I found with God before, I found on the streets. I was sober for 6, 7 years. I used to go to church every week, you know, and I got away from that. In the last year, I started to denounce God, my higher power. I started to hate him. I started to talk all this shit. But today I realized everything that's happened for a reason. That's why I'm here today with this message for people. Hey, you can't serve two masters. Find what works for you. Like I said before. If it's not working and you're doing the same thing over and over again, that's insanity. You're going to get the same results. It wasn't until I was willing to sit there and listen and try something different that for 6, 7 years I had some clean and sobriety time. And no matter what, nobody can take that clean and sobriety time from me. They can't take all the men that I helped at that time that I sponsored. They can't take the times that I was helping out my son at school or with church. I did that for 6, 7 years. I helped people when I first got onto YouTube. And I got away from it. So today, my whole thing is to continue to lay that foundation that at one time, what I was truly trying to do. And I see a lot of other YouTubers, and this is the only thing that I'll sit there and say, they've gotten away from having a message. You know what I'm saying? It became more about views and less about having a purpose. Less about helping people. They're more worried about that super chat or getting that 10, 20,000 views than maybe being able to reach someone out there and help. I used to be one of the very few people that you could sit there and hit me up on IG, and I would take the time to call people. I've been told that many times. Hey, I tried to reach out to this person, that person. They wouldn't respond. I've had calls where it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on the phone doing what you call a 12-step call. Or someone when their son almost passed away, or, you know what I'm saying, their son just did this or did that, or their daughter. And I've took those calls. I've gone away from that the last year. So the message is for everybody out there. You know, whatever you got going, I've repeated this over and over again because I got away from it. If you're doing something that's working for you, that's helping you be a better man, that you're finding your true authentic self. Because we're not our true authentic self when we're on alcohol. We're not our true authentic self when we're on drugs. We're our true authentic self, right, when we're out there doing good deeds, helping other people. Learn to live an altruistic life. And when you do that, you become spiritually fit. And whatever your fucking God is that you believe in, whether you believe in God or not, you're still doing spirituality work. With that said, what, Flacco, man? Prayer to everybody out there, man. Keep it moving. And I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. If that's the change, and I recognize today I need to change a lot of things in myself. I'm out.